A great way to get from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania to Lusaka in Zambia that we've found is getting the Tazara Railway service. It's a 2-day train if you're going the express route, or a 4-day train if you're doing the ordinary route. They go twice a week, so if you're someone who's a bit of a hurry, it might not be the best for you. But if you're looking to get a real experience of what it's like to travel in country, it's a fantastic way to get around. The views are spectacular along the way, and it's a really authentic African experience. The train service is a very popular service. It's very busy, every train. As a result, it is a good idea to book your tickets in advance, sometimes up to 2 weeks in advance. The best way to do it is to go to the train station itself in Dar es Salaam, if you're getting it from that route. There are ways you can email or phone ahead. However, the most reliable way of doing it is actually doing it yourself at the train station and having the ticket in your hand.
When you're booking the train, you've got 3 options with which ticket you choose. There's 3 classes. The third class is very basic, is about $10, which is just a very basic seat in a carriage. Then the second class tickets are a little bit more expensive, about $25, and within those carriages you get a table, a slightly more comfortable seat, and you do have easier access to the bar and the restaurant. The first class ticket is what we've gone for, and which is something we recommend. You get a full cabin with a bed, and you get service that comes to your cabin with food and drinks. Each cabin sleeps 4 people, so if you're in a group of 4, then that's great. If you're travelling on your own or as a pair, the likelihood is, because the trains are very popular, you will be sharing with other travellers.
On the train itself, there is a restaurant cart and a bar cart, which sell local beers, sodas and water. If you're in first class, you'll get breakfast, lunch and dinner, which you can pre-order with chicken or rice or beef, whatever it is. It's very, very tasty, and each meal only costs between $2 or $3. Although the food on the train is very good and cheap, it is recommended to bring your own food and snacks, as it is a very long journey, and you can even save even more money by buying your own drinks and snacks.
There are toilets on board. They're not the best toilets, they're just squat toilets, but they are kept very clean, they're cleaned daily. The one thing we do recommend you bringing is toilet paper, because although I think on some websites it says that they will give you some, we haven't received any, so it's something definitely to bring on board. There are shower and wash areas, but the water on the train is very limited, so we would again recommend you bringing something like baby wipes and deodorants just to kind of feel fresh, but also be very prepared to expect to kind of not really have a proper wash for the time you're on the train.
As for power on the train, during the day there's no power whatsoever, not even for lights, but you don't really need it. When it gets dark and the sun goes down, the lights come on, and there is power available in some cabins, but not every cabin. You're not guaranteed to have a working fan or a working power socket, so you must be prepared to not have that. So charge all your phones and cameras and whatever you need before you get on the train. You will have light, but you cannot guarantee to have power.
Because you're travelling either from Tanzania to Zambia or vice versa, when you cross the border, obviously you need to sort your visa out. Now this is actually made very simple when you're on the train, because you stop, if you're coming from Tanzania to Zambia, you stop in Tanzania, the immigration come on and stamp your exit, and then about 15 minutes later the Zambian officials come on and they issue with your visa, which is $50. At the visa crossing, there will be people that come on the train and offer you to exchange money, because as soon as you get into Zambia, you're expected to use the local currency on the train. So it sounds a bit strange, but that's something you're going to have to think about. The exchange rate you get on the train is not as good as what you would get in Dar es Salaam or Lusaka, so we would recommend you trying to change your money before you get on the train.
During the journey, the temperature can change an awful lot. During the day it can be very, very hot, as you can imagine, but at night the temperatures just drop and can get quite chilly and cold. But you are allowed to keep your luggage with you in your cabin, which means that you can wrap up warm at night when it does get cold.
The longer you're on the train, naturally the more passengers you meet and speak to at the bar or in the restaurant, and socialising creates a real sense of community on the journey, which is a really nice thing that we didn't really expect on boarding the train.
Well, it's a long ride, but well, it's comfortable for African standards, much better than the bus. Food is quite okay. They try to rip you up like everywhere. It's a lack of information. when you have to stop at a station for a long time, that you have no idea when you are moving. Are we going to be too late? So more in order to get to the next destination. The only downside of the train that it's dirty, but it's okay for a 2 times 24 hours experience.
I think it is very comfortable. Yeah, passengers and conductors are very kind, and food is delicious and cheap. Yeah, I like this train.
Whilst there's so much to see out of the window and there's people to meet and talk to along the way, it is a very long journey, so we do recommend bringing dice or cards or being very creative with how you can pass the time. Definitely a couple of good books wouldn't go amiss. The journey is quite bumpy, so if you do get a little bit sick on travelling, then maybe the books aren't for you. The overall experience riding on the train is a really unique experience, and you get to see so much from outside the window, so we really recommend seeing as much as you can. You pass through towns, rural villages, national parks, and you know, amazing diverse landscape.
Having nearly finished our journey of the Tazara Rail route, we can say that we thoroughly enjoyed it and we would really recommend it. First class may not be what we are used to back home, but it's a very authentic way of getting around from Tanzania to Zambia, and in terms of what you see in the countryside, I would say it's second to none. If you are planning to do this route, which we recommend, we wish you the best of luck and hope you enjoy it as much as we have. We can honestly say this train is legit. Having nearly completed the journey of the Tazara Rail route, I'm going to do that again because I said whale route.
Is that a whale?
And many whale watching. Having almost completed that was finished and completed. But you are allowed to keep your luggage with you in your cabin, so it means you can bring jumpers or jackets or jeans or whatever you need to keep cold at night, keep warm at night. So that's it.